Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and I am a kidney disease warrior. I wanted to do my after the session question, confession, talk. I'm not sure what I want to call it, but I wanted to do that today because I had a session yesterday, had a dialysis session yesterday. And prior to the session, I got a call from our temporary facilities administrator, our FA. Now, I don't know a lot about this person. They're kind of in and out, bouncing in and out when I go to my clinic, and I don't have a lot of interaction with them. But when they called, it was from an out-of-state number, and I didn't answer the call, and then I checked the voicemail and returned the call because my clinic has been going through a lot of personnel turnover. We've literally lost 3 techs over the past 6 weeks. And if you know anything about kidney dialysis, it takes time to train new people, to get them on the floor, at a proficient level. And this just hasn't, it hasn't come to fruition just yet. So again, we're going through a lot of topsy-turvy personnel issues at the clinic. And so finally called this person back, and they were like, well, sorry, Eric, we're going to have to divert you. We're going to give you 2 options. We're going to give you an option to go to a closer clinic at a later time, or a clinic further away at an earlier time. And I was frustrated. I was upset that they're having to divert me because what I'm speculating they're going through is they don't have the coverage. They don't have the staff coverage to cover my shift and the people on my shift, because I go in at 5 p.m. and dialyze to about 9:30 p.m. And they just didn't have the coverage for that. And this has happened before. This is probably the second or third time over the past, like I said, 6 weeks. And it was upsetting. It's something that kind of triggered my anxiety, but I was prepared for it because I've been blessed here recently. I've gotten a vehicle. I have a team that I often talk about, putting that team together. And this team is going to be available perhaps to drive you in emergency situations, or accomplish something else that you need done, because this is the team you formulated to help you battle your kidney disease and accomplish your kidney-related goals. And so I chose to go to the clinic further away at the earlier time. And so basically when I got the call, I had an hour. I had an hour to get up, to do my morning routine, to hop in the shower. Didn't even shave my head. I just went, And when I got to that clinic, it was actually a former clinic I had attended for years. It was my former home clinic that I had went to about a decade ago. And none of the faces were familiar as far as the personnel there, but they were really accommodating, really helpful, really communicative, really, just on the ball. And so I didn't have any trouble there. But I got to thinking about, there's instances where I feel like home hemo or peritoneal dialysis is a better option. And this is one of those instances, because if I was dialyzing at home hemo, if I was on peritoneal, I wouldn't have to worry about being diverted to another clinic. I wouldn't have to worry about my time changing. I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with unknown nurses, unknown technicians. So that part would really put my anxiety in control, so to speak. But the thing that gives me pause about home hemo is doing it myself. Even though going to that other clinic was an inconvenience for me, I feel like I'd rather do that than to be responsible for putting my own needles in or doing my exchanges if I was on peritoneal dialysis, just because I just don't want to do that. That's not in my personality, I guess. If that's the simplest way to explain it, it's not really in my personality. And the same way, and I was actually asked this question by a driver because I usually take transportation to dialysis. I was asked recently why I don't do home hemo. And I've kind of built this generic formulaic answer. And I tell people, well, I can change the oil on a car. It'll be a little bit of work. I can do it though. Or I can go to these folks that specialize in oil changes, sit in my car, and have them do it. And that's the difference between dialyzing at home or on your own or dialyzing in a center. That's why I would rather dialyze in a center. And like I said, my clinic is going through a bumpy time right now. I don't blame anybody. It's not anybody's fault. That's kind of the nature of life, you know. There's changes that are going to occur because life happens. People move on to better opportunities, or they find out that dialysis is not necessarily an industry they want to be in, and they choose to move on. That's the case of a couple of our technicians, and they move on, and that's okay. But for me, I just had to really give some thought to why I love going in center. I go in, I sit down, I have a little chit chat with my techs and my nurses, my dietitian, social worker from time to time. I have those interactions, but I'm sitting there and a professional is taking care of me. And that's why I prefer in-center hemodialysis over PD, peritoneal dialysis, or home hemo. Those two options just don't really appeal to my sensibilities. And so that's what I wanted to make this after the session confession about. Like, I'd rather go in center. Even though I was inconvenienced yesterday, I had to go out of the area, out of my way. But again, I've been blessed with a vehicle. I've been blessed with the means to get to that place. And so it is it has been advantageous for me to in these situations where I am called to be diverted to another clinic. Now, one great thing that happened yesterday is I reached out to my girl. I said, babe, I'm on this side of town. Let's connect. Let's go to an early dinner. And we were able to find this great little mom and pop restaurant. And we were able to get a bite to eat and laugh and joke for a minute. So that was a great thing that came out of that. So even after all of this, oh, you need to be diverted, or we're sending you to a clinic further away. And even after all of that, I was able to really salvage the day. Well, I got dialyzed, so that was great. Needed that because this was a Saturday when this has happened. You know, I'm recording this on a Sunday. So this was a Saturday, so I didn't really have a lot of options. I had to go in. You know, I didn't want to go the entire weekend without dialyzing. And so I was able to salvage that, meet up with my girl, have a great meal, laugh. I love to hear her laugh, and it just worked out really well. And so I wanted to wrap this up by asking you guys, have you ever experienced that at your clinic, being diverted to another clinic out of your area or even in your area because of personnel issues? I also wanted to ask you, what is your mode of dialysis? What is your preferred mode of dialysis? Do you want to do home hemo? Do you want to do in-center hemo or peritoneal dialysis? Any other form I may have never heard of? Put that in the comments. Also, in the description, I've left some links I'd like for you to check out. Please like this video if you like it. If you feel like you know of anybody who's traveling on their own kidney journey and will find value in this video or any other video on this channel, please share it with them. I really like to have you as a subscriber, so please subscribe. I really appreciate you stopping by. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye-bye.